Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Passage Podcast, where we improve English through meaningful conversations that truly connect with real life. And today, I am joined by my co-host Arav, who always brings practical and realistic English that you can actually use outside the classroom. And honestly, sometimes even I take notes while he speaks.
Thank you so much, Mira. That's really kind of you to say. And hello, everyone. I'm Arav, and today's topic is something that almost everyone experiences at some point, whether we are ready or not.
Have you ever been in a hospital, feeling uncomfortable or even a little scared, and at the same time struggling to find the right English words to explain what is happening to your body?
And in that moment, when you are already not feeling well, the pressure of speaking correctly can make the situation even more stressful and confusing.
So today, we are going to guide you step by step through a complete hospital experience. From entering the hospital to speaking with the doctor, describing your pain clearly, and even asking about medicines confidently. Let's imagine this situation very clearly. You wake up early in the morning and immediately you feel that something is not right because your head feels heavy, your body feels weak, and there is a slight fever that makes you uncomfortable. At first, you try to ignore it, thinking maybe it will go away on its own. But as time passes, the pain slowly becomes stronger.
And then you realize that you cannot delay it anymore. So you decide to visit a hospital, even though you may feel a little nervous inside.
As you walk into the hospital, you see the reception desk. And this is where your first conversation begins, which is actually very important.
You walk up politely and say, "Good morning, I would like to see a doctor because I am not feeling well." And even though the sentence is simple, it is very effective.
Yes, and if you want to sound a little more detailed, you can say, "I have been feeling unwell since last night, and I think I need to consult a doctor."
Can you describe your symptoms?
And this is your moment to explain clearly by saying, "I have been experiencing a headache, mild fever, and weakness since last night." And don't worry if your sentence is not perfect. You are not giving an English exam there.
Exactly. Communication matters more than perfection.
So now you've spoken at the reception, and you're sitting in the waiting area, quietly observing people around you, while at the same time, you are becoming more aware of your discomfort.
Yes, and in that moment, even a small pain can start to feel bigger because your mind is focusing on it. And you might start thinking, is this serious?
And while you sit there, you may even rehearse your sentences in your mind. Okay, I will say I have a headache. No, maybe I should say severe headache.
That's so real. I think everyone does that, practicing English silently before speaking.
And that's actually a good habit because it prepares you, but don't overthink it too much.
Exactly. Because when you overthink, you may forget even simple words, and that creates unnecessary stress.
Instead, take a deep breath and remind yourself that simple English is enough to communicate your problem clearly.
And remember, the goal is not perfect English. The goal is clear communication. Now your name is called, and you slowly stand up, walk into the doctor's room, and sit down, feeling a mix of relief and nervousness.
The doctor looks at you with a calm expression and says, "Hello, what seems to be the problem?" You begin slowly, saying, "Hello, doctor. I have been feeling unwell since last night, and I have a headache along with a slight fever."
And if you want to make it more natural, you can continue by saying, "I also feel very weak and tired, even when I am resting."
The doctor may nod and ask, "Can you describe the pain in your head?" Now, instead of stopping or feeling confused, you can explain step by step. You can say, "The pain feels sharp at times, and sometimes it becomes a constant, dull pain."
That's a very natural and detailed explanation.
And you can add more detail by saying, "It becomes worse when I move my head quickly or when I look at bright light." And honestly, that sounds exactly like a real patient in a hospital.
Yes, and doctors rely on these small details to understand what might be happening.
The doctor may then ask, "Do you have any other symptoms?"
And you can respond, yes, I feel slightly dizzy, and I have a loss of appetite.
Or you can say, "I also feel a bit nauseous at times."
The more clearly you explain, the easier it becomes for the doctor to help you.
Now let's imagine another situation where the doctor asks you to describe pain in a different part of your body.
For example, the doctor may ask, do you feel any pain in your stomach or chest?
And you respond carefully by saying, "Yes, I have a dull pain in my stomach that comes and goes throughout the day."
Then you might continue, sometimes it feels like a burning sensation, especially after eating.
And if the pain is strong, you can say, "At times, the pain becomes sharp and uncomfortable." Or even, "It feels like a constant pressure in my chest."
These phrases help you describe your condition more clearly, without needing complicated vocabulary.
And honestly, once you learn these expressions, you start feeling much more confident speaking in real situations.
Now, the doctor may ask some follow-up questions to understand your condition better.
For example, "How long have you been feeling like this?" You can respond, "I have been feeling like this for the past 2 days, but it became worse last night."
And the doctor may ask, have you taken any medicine so far?
You can say, "Yes, I took a painkiller, but it did not help much."
Or, I haven't taken any medicine yet because I wanted to consult a doctor first.
These answers show clear communication and responsibility.
The doctor might also ask, do you have any allergies?
And you can respond, "No, I don't have any known allergies." Or, "Yes, I am allergic to certain medicines."
This is a very important question, so always answer it carefully.
After examining you, the doctor starts writing a prescription and says, "I will give you some medicines."
And this is where you should not stay silent. Instead, ask clear and polite questions.
You can say, "Could you please tell me how often I should take this medicine?"
And you can continue, for how many days should I continue this treatment?
You can also ask, "Should I take this medicine before meals or after meals?"
And if you want to be extra careful, you can ask, are there any side effects that I should be aware of?
Because honestly, nobody wants unexpected reactions later.
Exactly. It's always better to ask questions now than to worry later.
You can also ask, "Is it safe to take this medicine with other medicines?"
That's a very smart and practical question.
Now you walk to the pharmacy with your prescription, feeling a little relieved, but still careful.
You hand over the prescription and say, hello, I would like to buy these medicines.
The pharmacist may give you the medicines and briefly explain them, but if you don't understand, don't hesitate to ask again.
You can politely say, could you please explain how I should take these medicines?
And if needed, you can ask, "Can you write it down for me?"
Or, should I store this medicine in a cool place?
And sometimes, the instructions can be confusing, so asking again is completely okay.
Yes, because your health is more important than feeling shy.
And when you leave the pharmacy, you feel more confident, not just because you got treatment, but because you communicated clearly in English.
And that confidence is something you carry into every future situation.
I am not feeling well.
I have been experiencing a headache since last night.
I feel a sharp pain in my stomach.
How often should I take this medicine?
Are there any side effects?
Practice speaking these sentences aloud daily, even when you are healthy. so that in real situations, the words come naturally.
Yes, practice makes you confident, and confidence makes communication easier. Yes, practice makes you confident, and confidence makes communication easier.
And always remember, clarity is more important than complexity.
What do you think about this topic, especially when it comes to speaking English at a hospital, where the situation is already a little stressful and emotional?
Yes, and we would really love to know. Have you ever experienced a situation where you needed to explain your symptoms in English, but you couldn't find the right words at that moment?
Or maybe you knew what you wanted to say in your mind, but the words just didn't come out clearly when you needed them the most.
If that has ever happened to you, don't worry at all, because that is exactly why we are here, to help you feel more confident step by step.
And you know what? Even small improvements in how you describe your pain or ask simple questions can make a very big difference in real-life situations.
So, we encourage you to practice these sentences again. Maybe listen to this episode one more time, pause after each sentence, and try speaking along with us.
Yes, and don't be shy. Even if you are practicing alone in your room, that's perfectly okay.
That's actually how real progress happens.
And now, we would really love to hear from you. What part of today's conversation did you find most useful?
Was it describing your symptoms, explaining your pain, or asking questions about medicines?
Or maybe there is a real experience from your life that you would like to share with us.
Go ahead and write it in the comments, because your experience can also help other learners in this community.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need it.
And of course, subscribe to English Passage Podcast so you never miss an episode where we help you speak English naturally and confidently.
We'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and keep practicing.
Goodbye, everyone, and keep speaking with confidence.